First of all, I'm still waiting for Judy to come back down the steps. We got sent to her room to never be seen again.
Never be seen again.
That might have been the start of like trafficking kids or something. I don't know.
When you're a leader, you're no longer just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about others. And so I think that's...
If you're a good leader.
Well, if you're a good leader.
Because a lot of it, to y'all's point, is conditioning, right? Let me ask y'all a question. How can you describe a color you've never seen before?
He gives her his account numbers and all of that. Like, that's, of course you're married, but still, it's like another person. You giving your bank account and all that information, all that trust. That's a lot of trust. Like,
I'm up to it. I'm up to it.
I'm with it.
We going there. I'm up to it.
That's the show, Dada.
It is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Assuming we can still call you that.
There it is.
In the year of our Lord 2022. We may not be able to for too much longer. It's the truth. It's the truth. But anyway, that being said, thank y'all for joining us. Welcome to the most organic conversation on the internet. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, everybody?
What it two up to it, down to it, baby. What's good, fellas? How we doing tonight, man?
Man, happy it's the weekend. It's the freaking
how about that?
Weekend, fellas.
How about that?
Week,
how about that?
Week.
How about that? We made it. We here.
Tears up and drink up that I ain't had to choke nobody out this week.
Hey, shout out to not having to choke out nobody this week. Right? Or not completing the mission anyway. Shout out to not completing the mission because there's some people that probably needed to get choked out. But anyway, that being said, we're going to have a good time. As y'all can tell, we already in a good mood, in a good spirit, man. So with that being said, we're going to get to these intros. Y'all know me already. I'm the great and terrible Trey. Said so right there. Y'all know what it is, man. All I want to say to everybody is hang on for the ride because this is about to get bumpy tonight. It's going to get bumpy tonight. So y'all hang on for the ride. See what I did there? Bumpy. Y'all will get that at the end of the show. All right. That said, man, over to my left, right on the screen. My man, the immovable force. Always a pleasure, my friend. Talk to me, brother.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Cheers to the weekend. There's right after Halloween is Christmas. And so the tree's in the background. I wasn't playing about it. That thing had to go up immediately. So we're going to stay. I was going to
ask you about that.
Yeah, just there's a miniature like 3-day weekend called Thanksgiving, but it's Halloween and then it's Christmas, so we're not even gonna play with it. All right, stockings are hung up on the wall. All I'm waiting for is a tree skirt. Mind your business. All right, but we're feeling super festive. All right, so it's gonna be Maker's Mark all night. But again, it's Christmas time, so eggnog is back in the store. So we mixed the Makers with the eggnog, and now it's time to drink up again. Mind your business.
That part. That part.
That's
mind your business. That's all. I like that.
We're getting into my favorite time of the year, so eggnog is definitely on deck in the fridge.
Already. Yeah, man. Look, I'm on Jack Honey.
Already. Don't judge me. I judge your mama.
I sing Christmas music all year round.
I'm damn sick of Christmas music already because all that's going to happen is Mariah Carey's going to resurrect that one song.
Stop looking at me in that tone of voice, sir. You stop it right there.
Listen. You know you sick of that song just like I am. Stop it.
Her Instagram post was fire though. She changed from a witch on a broom right into her Christmas get up and said, this is my time.
But then
That's
again,
kinda
it might
tough for
not
real.
be
I
12
didn't
days
see
of
that.
Christmas. She might be singing 12 Days of Nickness since he had baby number 12.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
I think he did it on purpose in preparation of the Christmas holiday.
He wants to be the patriarch of 12.
That man out here giving birth to whole lines.
He's the gift that keeps
He
on
really
giving.
apparently giving babies.
My
to-
man out here stuffing all the stockings. Literally.
Hey man, the stockings are hung by the chimney with care.
Literally.
You know.
Yes.
Just because they know Nick Cannon would be there.
Ah, Nick Cannon and all the skeets, shooting the clubs up.
Yes.
All right, enough of that. Kev, I appreciate you. Shout out to the Maker's Mark and Eggnog Mix. That's what's up. That's good all day. All right, so which one of y'all? So we on the same screen here. We in the same box. So who want to go first, man?
It's all good. I'll go first.
right,
King
bet.
Rich in the building. I'm gonna be real quick. I'm gonna pull one back out from a little while ago because this one is hitting home this week. CEO, be your own CEO, Chief Encouragement Officer. Get your affirmation and courage from God. Once you're centered, you'll be empowered to encourage others. And I definitely needed to be my own CEO this week because boy, they tried me this week. But you know, I had to encourage myself, and that gave me you know, the strength, the power, the will to encourage others even today. So, you know, and I hate saying that, you know, made it through the week and fighting through the week and all of this, but I mean, it's real. Like you gotta be fighting out here. We fighting out here in these streets. So protect yourself, encourage yourself, be your own CEO in more ways than one.
It's a grind. It's a grind. Real talk though, man. Amen to the inspirational brother
man.
King Rich. Nah, man, good stuff. Always got one for us, man, and we appreciate you for that, brother. All right, that said, my man's. I want Sinfonia. My man Q. Talk to
In
us,
the
good
building,
brother.
what is good, everybody? It's your boy Q, aka the Bluehead Kid, aka the Kamikaze. Look, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet too. I'm continuing from last week because I want everybody to better themselves. Don't be bitter, be better. Don't be mad when it's somebody else's season. Praise through their season. Be happy for them. Celebrate. Then when it's your time, you got the same coming to you. So
That's
don't
right.
be better. Don't be bitter. Be better, people.
That's right. You heard it.
Better, butter.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's what we talking about, man. They both. Q just became extra inspirational because he's spending time with Rich. So,
Double dose
gotta
of
be what's going
inspiration.
on.
It could be I have a
All
full
the
belly of
inspiration.
food. I was feeling kind of grumpy today. I ain't even gonna lie.
You know, I feel like that was kind of, you know,
The vibe.
that was just the vibe today, man. It was rough. Last week was like that too. It was like, you know, leading up to, you know, tonight or that night or whatever. It seemed like it was a little bit rough. So, you know, we about to drink our pain away.
I got problems.
Hey, big shout out to the
Oh.
comments. What's
Oh.
up, everybody? Trees, Jamie, Liz, I see y'all out here. Sav, I see y'all. It's a big shout out to the comment section, man. We love y'all. Yeah, somebody beat me to it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We love it, man. Glad you guys are here with us, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. More stuff is coming. All right. I'm in the lab. I'm working on some things. Some stuff is on the way. All right. So that said, man, let's get to this first shot. As we know, as we do, the first shot is for you, for all of you, for joining us. All right. You get one extra shot just for being here on time.
My number one.
Don't let the big cup fool you. There's copious amounts of alcohol in this cup. All right. This shot's for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get. Bet. So, that being said, as we like to do, start out with some lighthearted stuff, just some general things that are on our minds. So, Kev, I was going to ask you about the Christmas tree first. Anyway, so it is November the 4th in the year of
never
our
too
Lord
early.
2022. And we in the Christmas spirit, we festive. We just using Thanksgiving as a 3-day weekend. We just, eat turkey and watch football at the end of the month, and that's it. Is that how we doing?
That's
Thanksgiving.
It. That's it. I'm saying if you eat good year round, what's another day but every day that you eat good all around? So yeah, it's about the Christmas tree. They already showed the Christmas commercials. Now, if you sign up for Walmart Plus, you can shop 7 days earlier than everybody else. So we didn't just say forget Black Friday. Now it's like Wilding Out week. I'm just saying.
It's
so
Black
Christmas.
November, Black month.
Yeah, it's Christmas all day.
They did have to start early, being that they announced they're not going to be open for Black Friday, so they had to start early.
Who's not? Walmart?
They're not going to be open for Black Friday.
Wow, I didn't
Really?
hear that. Wow.
Yeah.
What are they going to
Open early?
What are they going to do to 6
No,
o'clock?
they're not
on
opening at
Thanksgiving
all on Black Friday.
I
Okay.
believe it when I.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I'm
was
not buying
announced on
that.
the news weeks ago.
Okay.
Oh, who's news? Who's news? What news is this?
But wait, that doesn't mean the online's gonna be closed.
Online will not be closed,
Right.
just the actual
It's just the
stores will be
stores.
closed.
Wait. So Walmart, who doesn't close, is going to be not open on Black Friday? No shit.
I believe it when I see it.
I don't buy it, man. I'm not buying it. I'm about to.
That's fake.
Where's my Google machine, real quick? Somebody
Fake
pull up the
news.
Google machine.
Go ahead and pull it up on your Algo's internet right now.
Red and black Google, red and black Google.
Yo, LB, what up?
Squad, definitely.
Oh, squad, we out
What
here.
it is.
My guy, what's up, my
Yeah.
brother? This guy right here, man. This dude, one of the more talented people overall that I know, man. Ricky, what's up, fam? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, in the building.
Yep. Oh, speaking of talent, there she go, all the way from the West Coast.
Yes,
What up, P?
damn.
Yeah. Love it.
What's up?
How is it out? I mean, California's they losing their mind out there, man. It's going crazy. It's going crazy.
You saying it's
Anyway.
the real Wild Wild West over there right now?
It's real wild in the West. It's real wild in the West right now. But anyway, all right, back to some East Coast stuff. All right, so football. We ain't talked about football all season. And those of you that know me know how much I like football. We ain't talked about football all season. All right. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes. I'm looking at the clock. All right, taking a couple minutes. We're gonna talk about football for a hot
a
second.
honorable mention, because yes,
Honorable
take it back to the East, because right now, this is surprising to me. The NFC East right now is killing the game.
Killing the game. Yeah.
Killing the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles are undefeated right now. Freaking the Giants. The Giants are crazy right now.
Who
The
saw any of
Giants-
that coming? Who
They're
saw that
actually
coming?
gianting.
This is crazy to me. And of course, the Cowboys and the Washington, they're doing the usual,
Which is still good.
right, which is still good.
Except for one of them might be stepping up on the selling block, from what I hear.
It's true, and I'm not mad.
I'm not
I'm not
mad.
mad.
We've been waiting on that. We've been
Not
waiting on
mad
that.
at all. It's
I'm
time.
just
It's
waiting to
been
hear
time.
what he's going to come out with after he sells the team.
Say it
I
again.
can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear what he's going to say after he sells the team.
Oh man,
I should have settled with those people.
He ain't finna say that. He ain't worried about settling with no losers.
I think there might be a glitch on the screen.
uh-oh.
What's that?
Well, of course, this is bound to
Oh man, is this what we doing?
That's
Of
a
course.
glitch.
That's what we
It's a
doing?
glitch in the system, man.
I mean,
The Eagles they're balling, and I'm
Hey.
all for Black quarterbacks. So
Hey.
he was absolutely balling.
Hurts is doing his thing. So
And it just
Yeah.
goes to show. It just goes to show you, like, if you actually be patient with young quarterbacks and give them a chance to develop, that they can do well. But like the NFL is so quick to do turnover, they only give rookie quarterbacks their rookie year and a second year before they're ready to get rid of them. Jalen Hurts, I believe this is his third year in the league, and he's hitting his stride. It's because he had to sit, watch, take his lumps, and then like get into a system that was consistent enough. So yeah, I just I wish teams would be more patient with young quarterbacks.
but it's also playing to his strengths.
That too.
The Eagles is perfect for him to that's a perfect setup right there, and it's playing to his strengths. So you can't just turn him like Hurts into a pocket, just a sole pocket passer. No, he has multiple strengths, and you as a coach need to recognize those strengths, right? And then you shift, you make an adjustment, you recognize it, and then you change the game plan. Like, I don't want to say exploit, but the talent is there. Why not use it?
No, it's absolutely exploiting. You absolutely exploit. That's what it is. You exploiting talent, the other team's defense, the other team's coaching. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's how you win sometimes. Like
All facts.
it just is what it is.
No wrongs were mentioned.
I just wish Commanders, the name just doesn't do it for me.
Oh
I'm sorry.
man,
It doesn't do
It
it.
doesn't do it for me.
It doesn't do it for me either. But it is what it is right now
It absolutely is what it is.
at the moment.
Y'all what 4-4?
Yeah.
Say what?
Y'all are 4-4 right now.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Like,
honestly,
I think-
y'all could very easily be 6-2.
So I think because we're 4-4, right? Isn't that? I think we're the
Yeah.
strongest division. Period.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Period.
looking like the NFC East of old.
Yeah.
NFC East of old, man. I'll tell you who else is starting to get there. Now I'll be happy when they figure out how to win, and that's the Detroit Lions. When they figure out how to win games, they're gonna be a problem.
The sad story about Detroit Lions is they've always like almost been there. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've had some players that, Hall of Fame players, like, like some of the greatest in Barry Sanders and Megatron. And I mean,
Megatron was that dude.
He
those
really
players
was.
were kind of like just doing it themselves, carrying the entire team. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
LB,
Yeah.
what's up, bro?
yeah.
definitely see
No, I
that.
agree. I think they probably will. And, you can't just keep losing games forever. Like you got to show some progress. They haven't had any progress. They had great players. They had Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, Ndamukong Suh, Matt Stafford, Super Bowl champion Matt Stafford.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like they had some players, but that's just proof that leadership matters. Leadership matters, man. Detroit's leadership, their front office, their ownership has been garbage since the 1950s.
Yeah.
Garbage since the 1950s. Hopefully this, I almost called them the Skins, the Commanders, the Manders. Hopefully the Manders.
The Manders.
We're gonna call them the Manders till they come up with a better short name. The Manders out here. Hopefully they do better with their better coach, better ownership. So
Sometimes I feel like I can't even talk trash because my team's name is my team's name.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
all right.
And
Enough of that.
respect because we are the Commanders.
I don't know, man. That sounds racist when you say it like that, man.
All right, we off that, man. We off that. We can go.
Okay. All right. Fine. Hey, last thing. We just came off Halloween, man. Did y'all take your kids out trick or treating? Do anything for the schools or anything like that?
I'll let Kev go because we don't. Nah.
Yeah,
I'm about to say, Kev had a look on his face like,
yeah. No, I was, we did trunk or treat after church, but now we didn't actually go out trick or treating on Halloween. Listen, by the time it's dark enough to go out, it's time to get ready for bed for him. So, the after church part, trunk or treat was fine. It was, I feel like it's the safer option now, anyway. And he got, plenty of candy, more candy than he needed. So I ended up eating some of it myself. I mean, I was going to do that anyway, but I ate some of it, was able to take some to school, give it to my students. So yeah, he said good. He said good. That was my little Mario. And then for actual Halloween, he was Spider-Man at his school. So
I saw that on your IG, the Mario Luigi thing. That was tough.
Oh yeah,
and I liked your caption too. If you want
to
tell them what your caption was, that was cool.
Something to the effect of I don't mind being Luigi to the star.
Real talk.
That's
Beautiful.
my guy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What about you, LB?
Yeah, man. Like I said, we don't really we don't do anything for Halloween. We don't celebrate Halloween. The most RJ had was in his classroom. They did a little Halloween theme, candy and stuff like that. Some other kids' parents brought in some candy. Of course, I had to raid his bag to make sure, nothing, bad was in there.
You didn't find no edibles in the bag?
Huh?
You didn't find no edibles?
No edibles, not this time.
I was looking for the edibles. I was looking for the edibles through my kid's bag. I was disappointed. You people know better. You people who making these candies, you know better. Okay? All right, sorry.
Don't be scared to slip in a little Soda Patch Kid or two.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Here, Dad, this is for you.
Ooh, look, a Stonio.
The parents.
Right. There we go. Somebody throw a
Well, I
Stonio
gotta
in the bag
admit,
real quick.
I think for
Not for
this
the kids,
year,
but for me.
trunk or treat has been the trend. I got no kids knocking at my door, ringing my doorbell. So I think everybody went with the safe option this year.
I think so too. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. It was smart. We did.
One thing I didn't know, and I guess charging to me not just being celebrating Halloween or anything, but I didn't know. I guess certain malls, but I know Arundel Mills, right? You can go to different stores and you can trick or treat at the mall. You can go around to different stores and you can trick or treat at the mall. Apparently.
Yeah, we did that for K2's his first Halloween. But I mean, it was cool for what it was, but it's way too slow. Like the lines are ridiculously long. You wait in line like outside the door, and by the time you get through it, the candy's been rummaged through. You get the worst of everything or nothing at all.
Oh man,
leftover candy.
I ain't even gonna blame that on the people in line. I blame that on them employees. They know they supposed to be folding up T-shirts, thinking they eating Snickers before your kids get in there. Y'all wrong.
I mean, but let's be honest though. If you ever worked in retail, would you ever let them get the good stuff? Come on.
Listen, all I'm saying is those who remember my Spencer's and Target days, remember.
Yeah, the Spencer days was fun. That was an interesting time.
Very
interesting time.
Very interesting time.
I feel like we should change the subject now.
Yes.
I feel like we should. I feel like it's very important that we get off this subject. So everybody get y'all cups ready, because we almost took a trip.
We already over here.
We up and at 'em. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got cups in the air. It's time for our first topic of the evening. For real. Let's get into it. Here we go. All right. Hey, y'all like that?
I do.
Change it up a little bit for you. Okay, so we're talking about people staying relevant. Now, the interesting thing. Oh, wait, hold on, because Steve said something I want to go back to real quick. Detroit fired Jim Caldwell after a playoff season and have not won more than 5 games ever since.
He black.
Neither has every team that Drake has been supporting.
Well, except when the Raptors won a few years ago. The Raptors won a few years ago.
That's because the Raptor, man. That wasn't his powers were stronger than Drake.
For that season, I guess. He got lucky. He bet on the right horse this time. But anyway, that we in an interesting time, and so I told y'all it's going to be a bumpy ride. So we are in a very, very interesting time where people are doing things, saying things for cred, street cred, for clout. We got people saying stuff just to get attention. Recently, the two ones that come to example to me, recently we've had Kanye West come out and say all manner of inflammatory crap. But was he lying though? This whole other conversation. And now more recently we got Kyrie Irving, who has come out and really not said anything. He just kind of posted something. And he's catching the backlash. So in people's effort to stay relevant, are they running into a brick wall called cancel culture?
Okay, so I'll say this, because you have people that are, just genuinely just putting things out there. Like, I think, like a Kyrie, he's just generally, putting things out there on social media, not necessarily clout chasing, but more so either awareness or, he this is my social media page, or this is what I wanted to share, versus, and I'm not saying Kanye West is doing it, but there are other people that are out there that know that whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, it's all good. And so, I do think that cancel culture is out of hand. I do think that it's out of hand because it's almost like you have to be perfect whenever anything comes out your mouth on social media, period. Don't you dare be wrong. Don't you dare say anything. Otherwise, the mob, cancel culture media, is coming after you.
And also, don't have said anything 10 years ago either, because they'll come at you for that too.
And don't say anything too truthful, because they'll be at your doorstep.
Oh, that part. All right. Kev done put on the glasses. Kev done put the glasses on. All right, brother. Go for it.
No, so I'm with you on the 10 years one. I mean, if you dig up some of my tweets from 26, from 21, when I was emotionally tweeting from the club, about people that I missed. I'm just saying, like, speaking
of fun times.
Right. Speaking of fun times, there's a lot of things in my past that I'm not proud of, but of course they shape us into who we are today. I would be more concerned if some stuff you were tweeting 10 years ago sounds kind of like you do now. Then that's a consistent pattern that lets me know who you are. But I fully believe that people should be allowed to grow, be allowed to change, be allowed to be different than who they were before. So yeah, that part's always going to be wild to me. But I do think we're like tipping a very dangerous line. And I mean, for what it's worth, there's nothing we can do about it. But freedom of speech is very wild. Like right now, read something that says since Elon Musk bought Twitter, the use of the N-word has gone up like 500%. And I've seen enough videos to know that, of course, you say that N-word in front of people, it's going to get you knocked out in a lot of cases. But it's just, just wild that like people really are getting comfortable with saying anything without penalty.
Interesting. Q. Good
I
point.
mean, Kev just hit my point. Like, yes, studies have shown that N-word is definitely dropped. What I feel about freedom of speech so far, it's free but not free in a sense. Like, you're still walking on eggshells. At this point, he's hit every nail. Like, Kevin read my thoughts. Thanks, bro.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, man.
I think there's a fine line though. You know, there is freedom of speech. You can say what you want, but there's also, you know, repercussions that come with the things that you say. So you know, while you're
do you have freedom of speech though if there's a repercussion?
Well, okay, again, right? If I'm making a verbal threat, I was free with my speech of making that verbal threat. But if I'm threatening you, right, that comes with a consequence.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So like there's equal equal and opposite reaction, right? For every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So I walk up in your house and I say, "Hey, you hoes, you don't know me." That's probably, you know, while I am free to say that, that's probably gonna lead me to get my ass kicked, right? You know,
Very likely.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. That because there's a threat on like your life, right? You know, the stakes have gone up. I look at what Kyrie Irving said or what Kanye West said. At no point did they threaten anybody.
So they
and I'm gonna get to the racist tweets thing in a little bit too, but go ahead.
Yeah, so they didn't. However, and I understand this as an educator, and hell, again, what a time it was. But I lost my job at Radio Shack years ago for like mentioning their name while I was on some wild stuff again on Twitter, like just having, you know, like conversations with people. I did this thing called Lunchtime Talk with a Movable Force, and we would just hold like regular conversations. And, you know, most of what I did was just retweeting and playing devil's advocate. But just because I mentioned Radio Shack's name in like, you know, my little tweet show, it got me fired. So like
that's not fair though. I don't think that's fair though.
But when you sign on with jobs, those little clauses are like your representation of whatever you're signed on with. So in Kanye's case, it was, you know, all of these fashion lines, sport lines, you know, lost the Adidas deal. They got Yeezys on clearance now. You know, and then on Kyrie's side, you represent the Nets, you signed with them, and there are clauses that say, you know, conduct detrimental to the team. And then above that is the NBA that says, you know, basically don't mess with our money by not knowing what to say, you know, what to whatever. Like owners have been fined, coaches have been fined, players have been fined and now suspended because what you're doing directly negatively affects your brand, your company, people who are cutting you checks.
And that's really what it is. It's the fact that what you say or what you had said, right, can negatively affect their money.
So what y'all saying is we have not free speech, but purchased speech. Purchased speech.
We have.
If somebody else is cutting your check, then yeah.
You got to put quotes around free. We have free speech.
Do we? So I'm curious. Do we know freedom of speech is the First Amendment, but like, you know, do we know what it actually says? Check it out. Y'all in the comments. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go into it right now. But check out what that means. It actually, freedom of speech, and this is all I'll say about it, is supposed to actually be freedom from retaliation or freedom from punishment from saying things that people disagree with. That's the central theme of it, right? So in the end, a person is allowed to think or say or believe, for that matter, whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? Now, should you act on those things? Absolutely not. I think if you're inciting a riot, then that's a different story. I think if you're inciting people to violence, I think, then yes, that should be shut down or at bare minimum identified as, riotous speech. Okay, cool. It can be identified as that. But saying, for example, make America great again, or wearing a MAGA hat should not be reason for you to get fired from your job. It should not be reason. That should not be grounds for immediate dismissal at, whatever function you're a part of. That should not be reason to have things canceled because you have a difference of opinion. Here's the thing. What Kyrie Irving said was absolutely nothing. By the way, all he did was post a link. Which is on Amazon. So the question is, if that link is so bad, then why isn't Amazon under fire? Because Amazon is the platform hosting this thing that's so bad.
So I'm torn on the Amazon thing. Like, I feel like because Amazon really is two different things. Like, Amazon is really like almost like a production company, but then Amazon is also like basically a big ass warehouse. So like people are paying to leave their things with Amazon essentially. So like Amazon's not even the one handling, like doing the distribution. It's available from Amazon through an entity. So the entity is still the ones like getting this product to you, but they know that their visibility is higher because it's
on Amazon. Amazon has a bigger platform.
Yeah, so like it's the entity, and Amazon just ain't turning money down. So like, but I feel like still they should be aware of what they have and all of that. So like a sort of part of me says yes, but then part of me says no, just because Amazon is just the base of holding up whatever that thing is. But like,
okay, I mean, so then is Kyrie Irving wrong for posting the link?
I won't say he's wrong, but I will say he's grossly irresponsible. Like, because you can share whatever you want, but like, and this, I feel the same way about this as I do about him and his whole thing with the vaccine. Not that him not getting it, but this, I want to be a voice for the people who have no voice. I got all of this research about the vaccine and never shares it. So like, how are you a voice for the people? How do you have this information that you think is beneficial, but then you never provide it? And with the sharing of the link, like you share it without context. So, from that being in the position that he's in, and it's not just him, like if a football player tweets something and then deletes it, speculation starts. A basketball player, a baseball player, like whatever, because people are constantly watching you, everything you say gets, picked apart. So if you share something that seems anti-Semitic, of course, people are going to speculate where you're going with that if you're not clarifying like why you're sharing it.
Why does it matter?
That's why I said it's irresponsible. It matters because he wants to be a voice for the people. He made it matter when he said, "This is what I want to be for people."
But if he wants to, being a voice for people doesn't a voice for all people. It's not a voice for everybody. You can't be a voice for everybody because we're not always going to agree on everything.
But
so he's a voice for people that believe or follow or ascribe to whatever it is that he's talking about. Which is like, for example, like I don't agree with a lot of things that Kyrie Irving talks about. Like, I'm not a flat earther, for example, right? But I also think that he's free to post whatever the hell he wants, or especially on his personal social media page. Here's the other thing: he's posted all. Have you gone to this? Have you looked at this man's Twitter page? Seriously, have you looked at Kyrie Irving's Twitter page?
Actually, I just did. I just did today, and I actually saw where he actually apologized for his post. And to answer you, is he wrong? No. Again, I don't personally don't think he's wrong. I think it's what Kev said. It's a responsibility issue where, look,
he took ownership for sure.
You can post whatever you want, but understand that, again, I think I said it earlier, right? There's a consequence. There's a action and a reaction. So you got to be willing to deal with whatever it is that you're putting out there. And in his post where he was apologizing, it wasn't that he said that it was an emotional response, and he didn't do enough research to really he agreed with some of the things on the documentary, not the entire thing. And so he didn't take time to separate everything out of there and say, this is what I agree with, this is what I don't agree with. He just reposted the link, right? And so that came with a repercussion, right? Because you reposted
But
something
it shouldn't
without
have.
context.
It shouldn't have. He posted a link. What are we talking about?
Right.
There shouldn't be no punishment for that.
It's the same. So if you post a link, Trey, right, and you might have had some thoughts about it, but you just went ahead and reposted it just because you might have disagreed with some things, you might have agreed with some things, but you just reposted it. People are going to now associate you with what you posted.
So I have to tiptoe around someone else's assumption.
Not that you don't have to tiptoe. You just have to deal with the consequences that come with what you're posting.
Yeah, I was going to say, but if you don't, then there is a chance that those people will then look at you differently. And I know for you, you don't give a shit. And that's fine.
Nobody should.
But again, if it affects a global brand, they do care because that then affects their bottom dollar. Like when Daryl Morey of the Rockets said his whole piece about China, it cost the NBA billions of dollars because there's a billion people in China that was bringing in billions in revenue to the NBA. So a coach in the NBA messed up the NBA's bottom line because he didn't represent their ideals on their global level. So he is within his rights to say whatever, but you still work for a company. You still have connections to an entity that's greater than yourself. It's just like us. We pledged a frat. And when we crossed, they said, it's no longer just about you. When you do something, they're going to say, hey, that guy from Phi Mu Alpha was drunk at the party. That guy from Phi Mu Alpha was in the back of the police car, so yes, you are your own person, but you still carry some shit with you.
Either way, I definitely understand that. Because of course we were told as kids, you everything you do represents, your parents, right? You know what I mean? You represent them, you represent your upbringing, your household, so on and so forth. And while I do understand that, I don't believe people should be punished for their personal belief. If their personal belief is not anything detrimental to anybody else. So when we talk about what Kyrie Irving said, and more specifically, nothing that he said or posted or anything was detrimental to anybody's people, anything.
By whose definition, though? Because
by any definition, what did he? What? Okay, tell me the definition where it did hurt somebody. I'm not talking about nobody's feelings neither. I ain't worried about that.
That matters to people. Just like it matters to me. If somebody says something that I believe should care about me and it hurts me, that matters. So whether they have the right to say it, but it matters.
So it's based on how you believe that person should care about you. Therefore, they shouldn't say certain things.
Actually, yes, absolutely. I believe that you should care about me well enough to know what would hurt me and what wouldn't.
Okay. Well, Kyrie Irving don't know you. Right? And he posted a link anonymously with no context to believe whatever you want to believe about it.
He has knowledge of a community. We know how so he doesn't have to know a Jew personally to know what's offensive to Jews. You don't have to know a black person personally to know what's offensive to black people.
He posted a link to a documentary. How was that offensive?
So let me read this because I'm on Kyrie's page now. At least it's got the check mark, right? And he responded. He said, while doing research on Yahweh, I posted a documentary that contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offenses to the Jewish race / religion, and I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected by my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic. Instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary, I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti-Semitism. By apologizing for posting the documentary without context and a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agreed with and disagreed with. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish culture, history regarding the Holocaust, or perpetrate any hate. I am learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find understanding between us all. I am no different than any other human being. I am a seeker of truth and knowledge, and I know who I am. What do you say to that?
If he apologized, he's a pussy. That's what I say to that.
You know, what's funny is I saw an interview of him saying that he wasn't going to apologize.
Right. So if that's why I said if those are his words, then he's a pussy for backing down.
So, but I think context matters, right? So I think all right, so sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, right? We heard that growing up, right? Mm-hmm. But then season your speech with salt, right? You were supposed to season our speech with salt. But at the same time, we heard growing up, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So which one is it? You know, are we not supposed to season our speech with salt? Are we not supposed to care about the words that are coming out of our mouth and how they may affect somebody else?
There were no words that came out of his mouth. He posted a link to a documentary that's on Amazon. What are we talking about?
Well, it must be something else that you know that he's apologizing for. Maybe he's not apologizing for him saying anything. Maybe he's apologizing for what, you know, the what was portrayed.
Why is he apologizing for what was portrayed? He didn't make that movie or that documentary. Why is he apologizing for that?
Because it's not the movies. Okay.
Because
go ahead.
Because he shared it. And
what that mean?
It means nothing to you. However, but we're talking about people. So if you're,
why does it mean anything to anybody? What he shared, does it matter to anybody?
But no. So again, because it, like, whether we agree with it or not, celebrities' thoughts, actions, opinions, they like their stuff matters. When Jay-Z said, "I don't wear jerseys, I'm 30 plus, give me a crisp pair of jeans and a button up," you saw niggas in middle and high school wearing jeans and button-ups. They were supposed to be children. When he said, I don't drink, why would I drink I forget, like Belvedere or Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc, y'all need to stop. People stop drinking Grey Goose. Like, celebrities' speech, when they put stuff on, when they show off, like Cardi B mentioned Balenciaga in the song, people will go buy Balenciagas. Like so it shouldn't matter, but we pay attention. We, not us specifically, because I could give a shit, but like we pay attention to popular culture, hip hop culture, what sells, and we rock with it. Everybody want to have Jordans when they get released. Everybody want to like the newest, latest, because some celebrity said this is the way you should go.
So because of that, you have to toe the line and post what the rank and file thinks.
Well,
and
if you don't know what I mean,
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Right? Here's what I'll say. We can move on. right? Here's what I'll say. You are free to say and do whatever it is you want. Just like these other people that cut you a check and that, you know, that you are a part of, that are over top of you, whether they cut you a check, whether they're your you know, supervisor, boss, whatever, just like they are free to cut you loose. You're free to say whatever you want. They're free to say and do whatever they want. And they chose to do what they did.
True. They wrong for that, but true.
So they're wrong for it, but
As hell.
you're not wrong for saying whatever you want to say.
Nope.
But they're wrong for doing whatever they wanted to do because you said whatever you wanted to say.
Absolutely. Because again, if we're talking about putting somebody's actual life, we're talking about, again, a link to a documentary that somebody else made. It doesn't matter. Why does it? If he liked it or doesn't like it, he showed it with no context. If he likes it or doesn't like it, what difference does it make? If you watch it, you don't like it, okay, cool. You don't like it. He doesn't deserve to be punished for that.
I feel like we'll probably have to agree to disagree on that portion. I think what we're trying to say is the business owners don't give a shit how he feels, what he thinks. All they want to know is, are you hurting my bottom line? If you make a business and you have employees, you want them to represent the core values of your business. That's it, because that's the way you see profit and continue to grow your business. So again, do whatever you want. But if your contract says don't do stuff that makes us look bad, I'll step outside of that. There are teachers who have lost their jobs for having OnlyFans pages. They weren't recording wild sexual acts in the classroom. They weren't with the students that they teach. They do that on the side to make money. But because they work for a school system that says don't do anything that could adversely affect the school system, you get fired for having OnlyFans as a teacher. That's your free time. It's your business. You're not blurring the lines, but you still represent that school system. You lose your job.
You shouldn't.
I think there's a bunch of people, Dre, that would love to work for you then, because as a boss of your company, right, you're gonna have a bunch of people that can say and do whatever they want, even if it's about your company, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Defamation of a company is a different story. If Kyrie Irving, for example, we got hold on. Go ahead. Defamation of a company is a different story. I completely understand that, but I represent this company while I'm on the clock. I do not represent you off the clock. I don't. Now, in a celebrity situation, that might be a little bit different. I get you on the influence part. I'm with you on that. But at the same time, it's not their fault. They should not have to curb their personal belief to tiptoe around somebody else who might feel bad about that. Guess what? Him backing down and saying, I'm sorry for whoever I may have offended by posting this link, might actually offend some of the people who identify as Hebrew Israelite. But that's okay. It's okay if we hurt their feelings.
Listen,
true.
Again, you can post whatever you want. Post whatever you want. That's not going to change that it's going to affect somebody that's going to say, oh, this is going to affect my pockets. And I hear what you're saying. Oh, I don't think that's right. You have a right to think that that's not right. But that's not the world we live in.
That's true.
And I don't think that's going to change, because the bottom line is if you're a business owner and that what somebody did is going to hurt your pockets, you're gone. So
I don't see how posting the link is going to hurt pockets, but it's neither here nor there.
It's not the posting of the link itself. It's the effect that it so-called had on it.
Not so-called had.
Listen, that post, if that post didn't affect anybody the way that it did, we wouldn't be talking about it. It's the fact. It's not the post itself. It's the effect that came from it.
I would
Which is-
challenge
which-
everybody to go watch the documentary.
Even if the documentary
I'm
is
just saying to watch it. That's all.
Yeah, because we not arguing
You're
the
not
documentary.
right.
We're
Right.
just saying what he did cost people money. They did something to him as a result. And he knew, like, just like if they, again, they can say whatever they want. But if you disagree with what the referees did in a game, and you go in a press conference and say the refs were wrong, they messed this up, you're gonna get fined for talking about the referees in a public space. It's just these are,
Defamation.
but it's how is it defamation that you disagreed that night?
What are you saying? You saying the referees are out here cheating or something like that? That's defamation. That does hurt the brand.
I don't agree with the calls that they made. Like you're just supposed to, whatever the referee said, you're supposed to rock with it. If you speak on it, you get fined.
That's not right either. If you disagree with the call, you disagree with the call. I don't think that's right.
Those are the NBA's rules, though.
True. True.
That's what I'm saying. The company says don't, and the players know that. They have social media trainings. They get pamphlets. They get booklets. It's digital now. They know the rules. Don't. If it
True.
could, don't.
True.
They do have PR consultants to keep them within the confines of their contract. They're not saying don't post, but once you independently go out on your own, that's your butt on the line, but you're still a face of that corporation once you sign that contract for the NBA.
Hey, look, I feel you.
I don't think he was
We
wrong. Posting.
I'm about to say we'll agree to disagree on that, but only because I'm just saying he has a right to post whatever the crap he wants, and more importantly, to believe whatever the crap he wants in his own house. You know,
He does.
No,
That's,
and
you know,
and for what it's worth,
and he doesn't deserve to be punished for feeling that way.
well, no, and I'll say before, and I know we've been on this for a while, I got to get off, but like I've seen the NBA support what he was a minority in. So him and Jaylen Brown, the two most prominent Muslim players that were in the playoffs, in the NBA last season. So like and I hope I don't mess this up, but during Ramadan, of course, they couldn't eat before a certain time. So like the league, the teams made sure that once they could eat, that they got like timeouts and like time during the game to go do that and then come back out and jump back in the game and play. So, and of course, if I'm almost certain if you survey the NBA, the majority of the players are going to be Christian, they wear their faith publicly. So you hear the interviews and all of that stuff. So being a Muslim in the NBA, they're minorities. They respect that. Like believe, like you said, believe what you want, do what you want, all of that. But like, don't.
Here's the last thing I'm gonna say on that, because I haven't watched the documentary. Trey, you're saying go watch the documentary. When I get some time, I'm gonna watch the documentary, and the documentary is gonna be the documentary.
And you're free to disagree with whatever's in it too,
right?
By
Free
the way,
to disagree with whatever's in it, but the person that is going to win is the loudest one, is the loudest voice right now, and that was obviously the other people. So if there were some things in there and it's like, yeah, that's true, and you had enough people making a voice and it was going back and forth, but right now the loudest voice in the room caused the business people to say, oh, that might hurt my money. So it's the loudest voice in the room right now.
And to your point,
the loudest voice in the room isn't always the right voice.
Well, no, and
exactly, but
right,
it's still the loudest.
But I will say, to your point,
Unfortunate.
the company that stood on exactly what they believed was Chick-fil-A. when the LGBT movement was booming, every food place and company was rainbowing out their whole thing. Chick-fil-A said, we don't give a fuck what none of y'all are doing. We don't support it. We not donating to no causes, and we still staying closed on Sunday. And people are still wrapping their lines around the corner for Chick-fil-A. So by all means, stand on your stuff, and the people who will support it will support it. However, there are certain places where it ain't gonna fly. So it works. But if don't.
The best position to be in, I guess, is where you're not being controlled by somebody else. You know, where you're not under somebody else's control, because apparently your speech is not free. Your speech is based on whoever's paying you, I guess. We're gonna move on. That was good. We're gonna come back to that at another point, but that was good. That was good stuff. All right, we got to go rapid fire. So we about to take a lot of shots in a short period of time. All right.
I've been taking something in between during this conversation.
I was too. I figured we might need a shot or two. And we definitely gonna need a shot or two for this one, but we're gonna run through this rapid fire. So it's Friday. On Tuesday this week, we got the election. Let's talk about it. All right, here we go. Weed is on the ballot.
Well, this is quick. Go vote. Next topic.
Question 4. Say yes. Period. Point blank.
Weed is on the ballot.
Shout out
in Maryland.
Shout out to all the smokers watching the show right now.
Hey-o.
Yeah.
A big shout out to one of our commenters who picked up on something. You know who she is. And you know what it is. Weed is on the ballot.
Yes.
Go vote. You know, I'd suggest you do, unless I think you should be an informed voter. I don't think you should vote for the sake of voting. Okay? I don't care who you are. I don't think you should vote just because you should vote. Just you having the right to vote means you also have a right not to vote. In my honest opinion. So while, we're going to sit here and say, well, go vote. At the same time, if you don't know what the fuck is going on, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, stay your ass at home. That's my opinion.
Well, next topic.
Or vote for the party. I have no problem.
But vote yes on the weed thing, though.
Yeah, I have no problem abstaining from like parts that I don't know about. I will certainly not check a box, but I'll at least vote for what I do know. So, you know, informed voting.
It's still time, man. Informed vote. Thank you, Kev. Informed voting. And by the way, you know, doesn't mean that we agree necessarily on all of the above. It doesn't matter, right? Go get your information and vote based on you and your family, how you want to move. What's with the 4?
He was saying vote yes for question 4.
Doggone right. Yes. Quad Squad. You in Maryland?
Question
Yes,
4,
question
Maryland.
4. Question 4. She got it. I was about to say it. She beat me to it.
No.
Indeed, Jamie. Indeed.
Know what time it is.
Shout out to Jamie for the question.
I'm a 4, so it was all right.
Listen, all I'm saying is the same thing I've always said, that precisely 0 people in the history of the world have died of a marijuana overdose. Okay? Precisely 0 people in the history of human existence have died from a marijuana overdose. Next topic.
Say it one more time for the people that can't hear the lighters.
Yes, give me the light.
Nah, real talk though. Yeah, man. Pay attention. We got a couple days left. Get your information, or don't, and stay home, and that's fine. In the end, no matter who gets elected, it's going to come down to what you do in your house and what you allow in your home and what you teach your kids, what you expose your kids to. Speaking of exposing kids to things, y'all might need 2 shots for this one.
That was a weird pause. Who's exposing
Uh-oh.
kids?
Let's go.
Did I pause? Did I pause?
It was a lengthy pause, but you know, we know what's coming.
For real?
No giggity.
It just felt kind of cringy after saying exposure to kids, and then the pause after.
Go ahead.
But we
I
going
did that. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose.
I hope not. Come on.
Because we
Put the transition up so we can, because
Look,
y'all ready? Here we
Yeah.
go.
that should have said double D cups in the air.
Mm.
Yeah. These might be like double M's, double P's. So anyway, this was this,
What?
oh gosh.
what the fuck was that? So anyway,
Oh god.
so as the transition said, we had an interesting situation here. I'm not gonna say nothing else about it. We just gonna watch, and you know, y'all can. Yep.
This is a video captured by a student at Oakville Trafalgar High School showing a teacher instructing the class on how to use a saw. The teacher has been documented on several occasions with what people describe as very large prosthetic breasts with protruding nipples that are clearly seen through form-fitting clothes. The teacher's appearance has been the subject of reports from the New York Post and network news in the States. Students tell CHCH that this is a constant topic in class.
The entire school, like every single class that I'm in, the teacher is like the topic. Like it's
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
And obviously the teachers have no say over it.
It's just I'll be walking in the hallways and I'll see her walking around. It's kind of discomforting to be in a school environment with that.
The Halton District School Board says they're not taking any action against the teacher, saying they want to create a safe learning environment and, quote, ensure a safe and inclusive environment for all students, staff, and the community, regardless of their race, age, ability, sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, cultural observance, social economic circumstances, or body type or size. Adding that, quote, gender identity and gender expression are protected grounds under the Ontario Human Rights Code, a statement that students say contradicts the school's own dress code that they have to follow.
it's ridiculous.
Why?
I think it violates the dress code completely, and it's completely inappropriate.
The thing is, in the dress code for HCSB, like it says you need to wear opaque clothing. There are pictures even of the teacher where you can completely see her nipples, even the color of, like, you can see the color, you can see the shape. It's ridiculous. And it's very distracting for students.
It's not like a good thing for like 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids to look at and stuff. So
I think teachers should have to wear a business casual outfit, be presentable and professional in the workplace.
It's in the locker room, but that's another. Fuck these kids. I think teachers should wear. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Y'all are gonna be just as respectful in suits and ties as y'all will in jeans and button-ups. Shut the hell up. This is why I post Bernie Mac so often.
This is because we have a teacher who deals with kids all the time, and you know, We wonder why by Friday we have to take lots of shots. It's because he has to deal with y'all's
little angels. Your
children.
little angels who
You
smoke.
see how I did that there?
Smoke Percocets and gum wrappers. We got to deal with your
How the
little
shit do you smoke a Percocet? What are we talking about?
I wish I were lying.
I
I wish I were lying.
All right, listen. Okay, let's get back on here. Let's get back on topic real quick. So yeah, okay. So somebody caught it. Yep. She looked like a man.
She looks like
I'm glad you caught the she it because the kid
looks like
these kids are confused.
She looks like
I see what you did there.
Okay, so this, first of all, shout out to Jesse. This was sent to us by a viewer. Wanted to know our feedback. So there's a lot of layers to unpack. We don't have but so much time. But let's get it started. Let's get this party started and go from there. Who want to go first? Kev, you look like you itching. Go ahead, man.
All right. So listen, I will say that because it's a reported or assuming prosthetic. But I do like, and those may be over the top, but I do know women who have like, or have had ridiculously large breasts. I actually know 2 who have gotten reductions since then, just for their own health and like comfort and all of that. So like, I don't, so if this is an obnoxious joke, by all means, deal with that part. However, I know that there are like issues of discomfort just with curvier women in the classroom, and they're expected to be modest, but we know like the same kind of, skirt or dress or whatever is going to look different on them than it does dealing with Becky who ain't got no junk in her trunk. You know what I'm saying? So like to kind of like nitpick who you want to be dressed or look a certain way just because their body type is wrong. This part's a little over the top, and like the nipples through the front of the shirt are a little wild, but like when it wasn't that kind of shirt, the other one, which was like a purple button up or something, it wasn't as bad then. I just, so yeah, if it's an obnoxious joke, that's just over the top, but I don't want to like a curvier woman to be faulted because she's curvy.
So for context purposes, first of all, this was a guy. Somebody caught that. Yep, this was a dude. Number 2, he was trolling the school system, and what he was trolling the school system on was specifically, I guess, transgendered or drag queen people showing up in the schools, right? Before we get to that part, I want to say I agree with you that curvy women are curvy women. I mean, it just is what it is. I saw what Teacher Bay. Y'all know Teacher Bay,
yeah,
right?
That's where stuff like that started.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna shame her for having a body like that. Like it is what it is. Now I do want to know who be taking them pictures. I want to know who be behind the camera. I do want to know that, because they be perfectly positioned behind them perfect. Anyway, they be perfectly positioned is what I'm saying. Okay, it's the liquor. It's the liquor. It's the
a lot
liquor.
of footage. That's all I'm gonna say.
I just want to know who's behind the camera. But besides that, no. I saw this article that was saying something like she should, like, parents were upset that she was around the kids dressed the way she was dressed, and I don't think that's right either. Like, she happens to have small waist and big hips and big ass. Like, she got a body. It is what it is. She chose education. It is what it is. I don't think she's dressing intentionally to show those things off. At the same time, her body is what it is. So I agree with that. However, what I think is distracting is obviously the boobs, are the big prosthetic boobs and the nipples and all that is distracting. But I would also argue that a dude walking in the classroom dressed as a woman is also distracting to the kids. Q, Rich, what y'all think?
Absolutely, it's distracting to the kids. I mean, like you said, when I first saw it, I was like, what in the HE double hockey sticks is
right
going on. Even when, I found out he was just trolling the school system, like, look what y'all are gonna let allow happen. I was like, this guy's still going to the extreme to prove his point, but at what cost,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It had an effect on the kids. I don't know if it affected their grades or anything like that. I don't know, but it is a huge distraction. And if the she is not following the rules, as far as like type of clothing to wear, things of that nature, then yeah, that's definitely a big problem. But yeah, did he go too far to prove a point? I'm not gonna say that prove a point.
Oh,
did it change anything? What's supposed to come, about from it?
well, good question. So, following up on this story, the parents complained. They complained to the school board about this, and the school board backed up the guy and his willingness to dress the way he was, assuming that he was a drag or trans or whatever. So assuming that they actually backed his dressing like this in front of the kids in the classroom, etc. So yeah, it's quite a situation. Uh-oh.
I'll constantly be cautioned about these things. And so beliefs aside, because of course there are a lot of things that I don't agree with. However, like there are a bunch of things I understand. One, we have a national teacher shortage. So in just about every school in the country, they're short of teachers in positions. So a person who is like let's not even say super huge prosthetic breast transgender, but if they're just, I don't even know if I can use normal and transgender in the same, but like let's just say they just transitioned and are living a regular life. If they're transgender and it's obvious that they're transgendered in the classroom, that could be a distraction. A little person who is like little, not like 4'11", tiptoeing that line, but like let's say they're 3 feet tall and they're a great teacher. Because they're little, if they were teaching in the classroom, that would be a distraction. A person who is missing an arm, missing a leg, that's a distraction. An overweight teacher, they've been distractions. We made fun of our overweight teachers. So like, I don't know where distraction can be. That is what you make it. There were some days where our curvy teachers wore something that curved a little bit better than other days. On that day, that thing was a distraction. So like, where do we stop with what's distracting in the classroom? Like that almost seems now militant.
I guess everything could of course be a distraction. So I guess the question is what's appropriate, what's age appropriate and what's not. Right. I could spout off a few of my personal opinions on this, but I won't right now. What I will say though is there has to be a point of what's appropriate for certain ages. And I think in the end, if you intentionally now listen, if you put on something nice, you got a nice business suit, you happen to have a curvy body, it is what it is. And some of the guys are talking about it. That's gonna happen. You're right. I had a couple of teachers that every now and then that thing was stinging. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But I think it's more distracting something like this because it's so far left field, as it should be, because men are not women and women are not men. Okay, they're not. So that's, I think, is going to be an even bigger distraction. And the question really is at what age, at what point is that appropriate to expose the kids to? We got 9 minutes. At what point is that appropriate?
Well, I'm going to say my point. I don't think that there is, at this point, a specific age, because whether you want to or not, your children are going to be exposed to the real world, and we can't stop people for being who they are. They're going to be exposed eventually. So I don't say set a particular age range. And here's my opinion on the whole situation. I'm not going to dive too much into personal information or personal beliefs, because I do have family members, and I do have friends who are part of the LGBTQ community, and I do have friends who have transitioned. I didn't see anything wrong per se, like as far as like the teacher didn't come in big chested and coming in with like a low plunging top or having a unitard on showing boobs. She was covered. Whatever pronoun that the teacher goes by. But I will say, I agree with Kevin that there is a teacher shortage, and I don't see anything wrong if the teacher is fully capable of teaching the kids and fully capable of handling he, she, it, Zen, her, whatever you go by. If you're capable of handling that job, by all means, hats off to you. Do what you do. But on the other hand, like Kevin said, anybody with physical difference is going to be a distraction. If I come in and I'm 7'4", I'm a distraction. If I'm the shortest person in the world, I'm a distraction. But am I still capable of doing that job of teaching your kids and making sure they get a good education? Or are your kids just blindsided just looking at physical appearance?
I think it's easier to be blindsided by physical appearance when you're younger. So, I think while, yeah, they're going to encounter some people that are like that, I still personally believe that there is an age range where certain things are going to be appropriate versus not, right? A person who lost their arm in a war. That's different from them choosing to chop off their breasts. It's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a different story. So that's even more different for them to be a full-grown man and dress up in lady garb, right, and be prancing around your kids. I don't agree with that at all.
Wait a minute, I'm not laughing at you by any means. I'm laughing at Jesse with this Triple H prosthetics.
Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah. But don't nobody want that, man. Nobody want that, man. I think there's certain things that we can agree or should be able to agree that are age appropriate. And if nothing else, if they're not age appropriate, at bare minimum, the parents should be involved in knowing what is going to be presented around their kids. Because again, we all have different practices and beliefs in our household. Example, Kev talked about his experience with the trunk or treat. On the other hand, Rich, you guys don't do Halloween. Y'all don't do the Halloween thing in your household. My wife and I, we talked about this past year. Some things may be changing. We'll see. You know what I mean? But we all have different varying beliefs and different things that we hold dear in our homes. And at bare minimum, if something like that's going to be allowed, the parents should at least know about it. Well, I don't have time to go into it right now, but there's an example I heard of recently.
Question. Should parents make sure they're more involved instead of just sending their kids to the school?
Agreed.
Because parents don't show up to open houses and back to school night, and also they would have had a chance to see it before their kids came home and said, "Look," but we don't show up.
That's a fact. That's a Snapple fact.
When a problem comes up in the school and you call the parents are looking at you like, you called me for this bullshit?
Yep.
It's a daycare, school.
if you're not blocked, if the school isn't blocked already.
That's a
You don't
fact.
get a hello. You get a stop calling my phone. Is my child in the classroom? Well, all right then. Click.
Are they hurt? Okay then.
Woo. These are facts. These are Snapple facts right here, y'all. I hope y'all are getting it. This is real. If you want, I agree that parents should be involved, but that said, parents, you got to get involved.
Stop
Right?
sending your
You can't
kids
say-
with Balenciagas and
no frame.
belts that cost more than my whole wardrobe, and your kids still can't add 2 + 2, and they going to the 11th grade. Well,
That
actually,
part.
they can add 1 + 1, but it's sad that they probably know more than their parents do.
Maurice,
Man.
yes.
Yes, we
You
are.
can't rub 2 pennies together, but you can tell
Absolutely.
me how much weed is in the ounce.
Yep.
No, they can't tell you how much is in it. They just know they can smoke it.
They know how much to charge for it. You know how
Yeah.
much to charge for it.
And the idiot
Ooh, we got some.
don't even know if the weight is right or not.
We got to cut it. We run it short on time. But y'all, we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna go back to this because the comments, y'all are jumping right now, and y'all are bringing up a lot of points that's just gonna take us too far away from our times. We got one last thing. We got 3 minutes to do it. So one more shot, man. One more for the road. Damn it. I'm pulling mine up right now. Bang! Dang. You just took that straight to the head, Kev? That's what we doing. Okay. Pouring up right there. Final topic of the evening, man. We got to get through it quickly, so I'm going to just go through everybody one by one. Rap culture, it strikes again, unfortunately. Culture strikes again. Rest in peace, Takeoff. Let's talk about it. All right, we got 2 minutes. Kev, what's your thought on the whole Takeoff situation?
So I mean, it's tragic all around. And I actually had this conversation with my students this week. I don't even know if I'm putting this on rap culture. It's a culture of cool. It's a culture of like prove yourself. And so in Takeoff's instance, and I read the account of one of the girls that was there that was like within arm's reach of him pretty much the entire night, and she said he was out the way, like chilling the entire time. And so he was a bystander to, all of this and was taken tragically that way. And so that was my message to them. Like, y'all just want to be in the mix so bad that you go off property to be around your friends because they smoking weed, skipping class. You want to, skip class and just chill in the hallway with your friends, but being in the wrong place at the wrong time is going to cost you something. So that's like that. It's just, I'm big on like you everything you do is a choice. So you can either choose to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. And what may seem or feel right at the time, and in your heart is wrong, it's still going to lead to some consequence, down the line. So like we gotta be more diligent about who we're choosing to associate ourselves with. Our friends speak to us. As much as we could say, oh, I'm not that person. No. You are the company you keep, which is why, and we talk about this all the time. Ain't nobody in our circle who knowingly has a kid and don't take care of their kids, because we don't associate with absentee fathers. We don't associate with bitch ass niggas. Like that's not how we operate. So you got to be
straight up
taking care of your stuff to be a part of our circle, or you ain't. So to me, it's just really about choices. Like we got to stop assuming that the wrong things are cool, because they're not. And I wish there was like harder way to put that, but it's like it ain't as cool as you think. These little pleasures are temporary, and they're costing our kids and our clearly adults. He was 28, a lot.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's like you said, Kev, it's culture. It's who you hang around, man. You got to get around some people that can elevate you, and then you can elevate with. It's you definitely have to think about your future. I mean, there's so much that we could break down in this. So because I haven't been able to read too much into it. I just know that I heard that they were playing dice or something. They were rolling dice, and then somebody said something to somebody. I may be getting the story mixed up, but if it was just based off of either clout chasing or you pumping your chest up, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, like somebody said to you, you trying to pump your chest up. Who's bad? Who's the baddest? Was that really what it was? And you willing to, either kill somebody or pull out it. Like, if you're gonna pull out a gun, listen, you play stupid game, you win stupid prizes. And unfortunately, though, other people in the mix, right? Other people, innocent people, are affected by this. So, it's what are you doing? Where are you at? It's like us right now. When we were young, yes, we were out 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night. But also though, we still weren't just in those other places where it was more probable for us to get got, for us to, even though we were still out, you know what I'm saying? We knew we were smart enough to not be in those certain areas. So it's about knowing your surroundings, knowing, where you're at, who you with. And you got to make some tough decisions. Sometimes you got to cut some people out. You got to, cut some things out and go the other direction.
Big facts. Q.
Agreed. And I see it's coming up a lot in the comments. Like, I definitely agree that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, the more I kept looking at what transpired, the more I start thinking, like, people really have to dive in deep and start using that spirit of discernment. Like, 9 times out of 10, if you're in an environment or you're around people and you get that funny sinking feeling inside like you're not supposed to be there, quite sure 99% of the time you're not supposed to be there. So if you had that feeling, you just need to separate yourself and move on. I do feel sorry for his loss because I do feel he was an innocent bystander, which is why I tell people, please be aware of your surroundings and make better choices. Please.
Yeah. Sad story. What's even sadder is that this happens on a regular basis in different communities across the country. It just happens to not be Takeoff. This time it was Takeoff. It's sad all the way around. But we hear it echoing in the comments. You gotta be careful who you're around. And I get it. I understand, because some of these cats were people that rolled with you while you were coming up. You know what I mean? And I get it. I understand, the allure. At a point, you probably feel untouchable, but then you get touched, and it's all downhill from there. It's unfortunate. So I implore everybody to be safe, be careful, be mindful of, who's in your circle, who's around you, who you allow around your family, who you allow around your kids, who you spend your time with, because we're all a sum total, or some average rather, of the people we spend the most time with. That's why we have to spend time, as Kev has mentioned, we spend time with, good fathers, good men, people that are trying their hardest to do their best, the people that are going to hold us accountable, the people that we're going to hold accountable, right? not people that neglect their responsibility and just ignore everything. Those aren't the kind of people that you hang out with. You got to hang out with people that are going to make you better. That said, we're going to do better next time. We're definitely over. We are going to do better next time. But this is a great conversation, man. Final thoughts real quick. Kev.
Can't say it enough. Y'all got to take care of yourselves and each other. You know, we got to, I tell this to my students every day when class ends. So I'm going to say it to y'all, you know, make wise choices and have a good weekend.
LB.
Yeah, be vigilant. You know, observe your surroundings. Be safe. Love on each other, man. You know, live like there is no tomorrow. And, you know, go out and be your own CEO.
Big facts, Q.
All right, my final thoughts for the day. I do want to say special prayers are going out to Quavo and Offset, because just like you guys are my brothers, they lost a brother as well. So prayers up for them and prayers up for Takeoff's family. Also, what I learned from a dear close brother, don't be scared to tell somebody you love them, because you want to be their love.
I love you, Q, man. I love you, bro.
So, love you back, bro. So I just wanted to close the night off by letting each and every one of you know, all our viewers, everybody for the first time, and my bros. I love y'all, man.
Good stuff, man. Look, where would I be without my brothers, man? For real, straight up. We love each and every one of y'all, man. Thanks again for tuning in. Take a quick second, hit the like and subscribe. You'll know next time we drop some more videos. But to echo everybody's point, be careful out here. Be mindful of who you surround yourself around. Don't let other people sway your thoughts. Go do your own research. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Amen.
All right. So with that said, everybody, man, it's been a pleasure. One more time, hit that like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, man. We're going to be back at it next week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
In November. This is what we do.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Apparently, these nuts roasting on an open fire. We out of here, fam. One more for the road.